important done here is to bring some level of value to the environment that we have found ourselves. So it's absolutely very important that you, in doing your job, to also help us to some extent rebuild the public trust and confidence, because it's absolutely very important in regards to what it is that we are doing. Please go to the next slide. So by way of background, it's absolutely important to take us back a little bit, in 2020 towards subsidy removal by introducing what we call the service-based tariff. We're all very familiar with that. And that's by the hour, of daily power supply. We also know that in 2024, the government implemented a very sharp upward review for paying 225 naira per kilowatt per hour. And then when people protested about, they saw reasons and they just took it down slightly to 209 naira. All right. And we do also know that these tariffs for band C, B, C, and D, and E were actually frozen as guys for the legacy disputes, which we already know. We had, about 12 to just to shield lower service band from economic pressure. Okay? It is important that you take note of this. Unlike the legacy disputes, Aba Power operates 100% privately owned disco. All right? As a 100% privately owned disco and does not benefit from any government subsidies. You need to understand that. All right? The approved tariffs are a direct reflection of the current economic realities as we bear full cost of operation and make full remittances to the appropriate quarters. This independence also ensures that we remain accountable and focus on delivering reliable and efficient power to you, to literally everybody out there, despite the challenges that we have found ourselves without government intervention. But just to get it straight, can you go to the next slide? The tariff adjustments aligns with the guidelines that are set by the NEC. We are also operating within that regulatory framework. We have not deviated from anything that has to do with what it is that we need to do. Please, next slide. So in doing this, there is a process to where we are today, right? We have been operating the old tariff. When I say old tariff, all the while from last year when that review was done. As you may be aware, APLE's highest tariff is at 117 naira. About half of what schools we're actually bringing to. As we made an announcement, we carried like until when this approval was given to us. Until when this approval was given to us. Even now, I just want to also mention that our price within a reasonable range, even as 100% when you're reporting guided and not, using mischief. Guided and not, using mischief that anybody covered, right? We know what it is we've been buying, and that's what the graph will show. I'm sure they will throw more light to this, where we are buying, for us that is being sold at 136.26 kilowatts per hour. We were still 7 energy at 106.56 as at last year. Up until this same minute, which is basically January, I was giving fantastic work as people who just came into this space. You want to say something?
Yes, thank you. Let me chime in here. I think if you look at the screen, what she's trying to portray, we purchased the electricity from NDPHC, and NDPHC, you can look at the graph also. We signed a 100 megawatt PA with NDPHC when we just got into our Now, if you look at the graph, see up to October 2024, we are buying from, and
In case certain misinformation is going on, we need to correct that.
the average power supply to our was just 27 megawatts. Because of the way we planned to make available power, and adequate power supply for the residents and businesses, of course, we signed a 100 megawatt PP power purchase agreement with NDPH, and we started pumping power into our. Today, we have commissioned our power plant. The capacity of the power plant is 141 megawatts. There are three gas turbines there. Each of them has a capacity of generating 47 megawatts. If you do 47 times 3, that gives you 141 megawatts. We import a minimum of 25 megawatts from NDPH. So when you combine both, you see that we have supply all the energy needs in this town. By the way, the capacity of the power plant, the licensed capacity of the power plant is 188 megawatts. But as at this afternoon, 141 megawatts is fully built and commissioned, ready, spitting out generated electricity. So if you look at what we have brought within the short time we've been in Aba, you will realize that to be able to do these things, to be able to achieve these records, heavy investments went into the business. If you look at on the screen, that's number one is improved power supply, which I have just explained. Now let's get into metering. As she had stated at the beginning, Aba Power is 100% privately owned. Therefore, any CBN intervention, any federal government intervention, any subsidy from the federal government does not come to us because we are not one of the legacy discos, and we are not partly owned by the federal government. We are fully privately owned. So in our own case, we have to find the meters, and we are assuring you we have done significant work in arranging for meters supply to expansion. It's a big challenge because we inherited an obsolete network. But what we are doing presently have done on ground with what we inherited. We've built thousands of kilometers of 11 kV lines and 33 kV lines since we came in. We built brand new 4 2 by 15 MVA substations. No disco in Nigeria substation. 3 of such substations we have rehabilitated. Those ones we inherited from EEDC, former PHCN. Same capacity. If you look around here and around town, this type of steel tubular poles, the only place in Nigeria you can find it is on Airport Road. If you're driving from Abuja to the airport, that's the only place you can find a smaller version of what you're seeing here. These poles, in the next 30, 50, 100 years, these poles will still be like this. They are not concrete poles, they are not wooden poles. Nothing is going to happen to them. It costs a lot of money to do all of these investments. And right, these are the things we are integrating now to make sure that the entire ring fence has adequate and reliable electricity supply. We have started seeking out remote areas where you have industrial clusters, and we are expanding networks into those areas. Whether it's in Tiga area, in Eastern Alangwa, or you're talking about Okwa East and West, we are building brand new lines going to these remote areas to make sure that villages, businesses that have been totally disconnected from the network for many years. There are some places today that individuals come here and tell us, in the last 12 years, in the last 10 years, in the last 5 years, in the last 3 years, in the last 7 years, we haven't seen electricity into those areas. All these things cost a lot of money. Now, let me talk about the last box on that slide. When you and I are sleeping, there are individuals who, on a 24/7 basis, are awake 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., tracing lines for faults. That's why sometimes you have faults that develop 12 o'clock in the night, or 1 o'clock in the night. Before you wake up, those faults have been rectified. For us to be able to sustain those stats during those periods, because they can't operate without full security cover. And these are different teams. It costs a lot of money to provide such security. We don't know what happens in our climb today. Anything can happen to them. And we make sure that they are fully protected in those unholy hours when they are operating, to make sure that if there are faults, those faults are rectified even before daybreak. So we are to improve customer is full of businesses, and the plan, the intention which we are implementing is to ensure that there is regular power supply for all customers across board, no discrimination. That's where we are going to. The whole of the ring fence must be that cost us a lot of money to restore. One point before we move uh, uh, with the presentation, one that's providing our charge on the network in various platforms. We put it up each time vehicles. This is a commercial town, right? You have container carrying vehicles that come in here late in the night because of curfews, and they drag our lines, bring down our poles, and they have disappeared. Sometimes we even put out bounties and tell people, give us tips to arrest these individuals. We don't get any tips. We don't. Nobody comes to our help. And guess what? For us to be able to serve our customers, we have to bear all these costs. And name it, those things cost a lot of money. I just wanted to speak to some of this. Can you move on to the?
Why you go? What is it?
Turnaround time.
That's around
And
time.
so you was listening to hear
That's okay.
all around
Time.
time or town.
Time, the 24/17 that is always available to work on this form.
In Aba. It's on the right.